If you're a fan of the channel, you know that the Apple TV is probably my most favorite home theater device, right up there next to the Kaleidoscope. In fact, those are the only two devices that I run in my home theater setups, whether the dedicated room here or my living room upstairs. And so I'm always excited for WWDC every year. In this past week, I was gone on vacation on my 25th wedding anniversary. WWDC happened. I actually watched a bit of a replay of the keynote while we were on the plane out to Sedona for our trip. Finally, this year, actually, we had some real tvOS news. It actually made the main stage. Sometimes the Apple TV and tvOS doesn't even make the keynote address at WWDC, but it did this year, and there's some stuff. I can't say that I'm too super excited, but in this video, I want to kind of do a rundown of the tvOS 26 WWDC news, talk about the features that were announced. And rest assured, I don't have the developer beta installed yet. I'll be checking soon. I usually tend to stick to the public betas rather than the developer betas. However, we'll see. As soon as I actually get my Apple TV uploaded and get my hands on any of the new features that are coming, of course, I'll make the video content. So, of course, the big feature of all, really, the biggest thing of all of the Apple operating systems coming is the new liquid glass look, style, and feel to the UI. It's coming to tvOS just like it is to iPad, iPhone, Mac. Now, right off the bat, I think this was oversold. To be quite honest, like liquid glass was the linchpin of effectively a very large portion of the WWDC address. It was lauded as like a really bigger than it is, I think, in a lot of respects. To me, it's kind of like, okay, shimmery, translucent effects on the UI. I do feel that the tvOS, and on the Apple TV is probably one of the places where that may look the best. I've already seen some screenshots and whatnot of the liquid glass look on iPhone and iPad, and really kind of just getting in the way and layering things in a way that you can't even kind of really see what's going on. I think in the UIs of the Apple TV, this may stand to actually look pretty decent. However, the rumors were flowing going into WWDC, and even now, there's still kind of reference to this being like a new UI. The Apple TV is getting a new UI. Well, I'm sorry to say, but in my opinion, my perspective, the Apple TV is not getting a new UI. It's getting translucent and shimmery effects on the existing UI that's really going to operate and overall present itself the same exact way that it has prior to tvOS 26. So as the thing that Apple is hanging its hat on this year, like the biggest thing that they've been working on, the most ground-shaking thing that they could be doing amongst the entirety of the Apple ecosystem, I have to say that I'm kind of a little bit let down, maybe, or just not super excited about liquid glass. Is it cool? Could it look really nice? Yeah, it might look cool. It might look really nice, particularly if you're running your Apple TV and its UIs in HDR or Dolby Vision modes and stuff. It may really dress up the interface. It may make it look really sharp, really clean, and really appealing to the eye. But it's not adding anything. It's not additive to like new capability, better operation, better usability. It's all just straight up visual presentation. And so it's kind of like, we'll see. Something that I am excited about, and if you look at some of my prior videos from former WWDCs and the kind of stuff that I would like to see come to the Apple TV, one of the things that I've mentioned a number of times is a desire to get away from the thumbnail style in favor of wanting more vertical, correct aspect ratio movie posters. And hey, they're doing it, so that's pretty cool. This is actually a UI change that is really for the better. It's making the Apple TV presentation of our libraries, the presentation of content, the presentation of movies feel more cinematic. I think that, in my opinion, the presentation of a movie should always be in a portrait vertical style poster. And if you're going to use a more horizontal or a landscape like thumbnail, that should be more for like a television series or episodic content and stuff like that. It looks like they're going to be using vertical posters for everything now, but I think that's a great change. I'm excited to see that. I think it will definitely be a net improvement to the way that the library presentation in the TV app looks. Another area where they're kind of improving on the operation now, finally, some real functional aspect of tvOS has to do with the profiling system, and I guess the ability or the operational mode that when the Apple TV starts up or wakes up, it'll give you the ability to select your profile and be able to do more with the linking of your profile to your Apple account and some of your other authorizations for different apps and that sort of thing. That's cool. I've made the content. I've talked about the Apple TV profile system. I think it's really great to be able to have the ability to switch profiles easily, have different family members be able to access their own Apple Music, their own photos and stuff like that within the Apple ecosystem. I think that's all good. Based on what was discussed and based on the way that what I've been reading about this feature as it's being worded, I don't think it's going completely all the way to where we want it to go with the profiling system. But it's a step in the right direction anyway, and still an emphasis that profiles matter and profiles can be very useful on the device. What we really, really want to be able to see, though, is a profile linking between the profile that's logged into from a system level and the individual profiles in the app. There's profiles everywhere in TV apps nowadays. Netflix has all of its profiles. Peacock has all of its profiles. Disney Plus has all of its profiles. Every streaming service, every TV watching app has its own profiling system, in addition to the OS, the Apple TV itself having its profiling system. What I want to be able to do is take my Apple TV profile, my Apple account profile, and dedicatedly link that to a specific Netflix profile, in a Peacock profile, in a Disney Plus profile, and a Paramount Plus profile, and on and on and on, so that when I launch Netflix with me logged in as the Apple TV current profile, I don't have to pick a profile in every single app. It would just go from profile to the profile that it's linked to, and then boom, Netflix just opens up and it gives me the ability to get to my profile content in the sub app. It doesn't seem like this feature, this tvOS 26 feature, is doing that, but that would be just one more step. At least they're thinking about using profiles to link to more things going on in the apps. And so, who knows, maybe that'll be tvOS 27, maybe it'll be in a subversion of tvOS 26 if the word can get out to just go the extra mile and really, really make the profile linking usability that would make using the Apple TV much more of a delight. So they also talk some more about this Apple Music Sing type stuff, the karaoke feature. I can honestly say that I have never used this feature of my Apple TV. I believe that more recent versions of tvOS have already started to build some of this stuff in, using your iPhone as the microphone and stuff like that. So I honestly can't completely corroborate what's new in the karaoke features versus what was already there. If you like this stuff, I guess that's really cool for you, that they're investing in this as something that you can do with your Apple TV. It's just not something that I use or that we use within our family here. FaceTime is another area that's getting some augmentation, basically incoming call notifications, contact posters, and so on. I think they continue to basically just improve the concept of interaction and messaging via like messages and FaceTime and all of that throughout the Apple ecosystem. All the other stuff of like taking calls on your Mac and really like linking all of the communicative elements of these things together. It makes sense to do all of that on the Apple TV. The prior versions of tvOS have seen investment and feature expansion in this area, and there's already rumors floating around that we're going to see new Apple TV hardware in the fall, and it could be a bit of an expanded box. Some of the rumors that I've seen suggested that the Apple TV itself may actually have a camera in it for direct FaceTiming within the living room. So, hey, they're building a conferencing hub. It's a video feature. I think it makes sense for something like that to live in the Apple TV, talking with family, room to room, house to house, family to family, being able to sit back in the living room and engage with people, loved ones and whatnot that you can't see physically. I think it makes a lot of sense to add to these conferencing capabilities within the platform. One more element that's coming as well, I think is pretty good, is the ability to permanently designate an AirPlay speaker as the target destination of the audio for a given Apple TV. I'm not sure exactly how well this functioned in the past. I presume that if you AirPlayed to a specific speaker, that's something that you would have to like renew the connection for at different times that you would have come to use the Apple TV and wanted to have the audio routed there instead of perhaps out the HDMI cable or whatnot. And so I think some people that are using wireless audio systems, this is a really cool feature and definitely something that I would have expected you could have already done this if you really wanted to. And again, permanently designating a set of AirPlay speakers to be the permanent audio target for the audio playback of the Apple TV. That feature just makes absolute sense, and so cool to have it for the folks that would want to use it. If you're using HomePods or something else where AirPlay is the connection, that's awesome. I think now we really need to see like AirPlay grow to not be short of any like fidelity, bit rates, codecs, and that sort of stuff. We'll see what happens with AirPlay as we go forward. And then lastly, there's always new screensavers, right? Snoopy, I think, was the big story last year. Now we're getting India, I think, aerial screensavers from India. For the occasions where our TV gets left on, we do have the screensavers engaged, and actually the Snoopy ones are pretty cool. That's usually what comes on our television, on our Apple TV screensaver most of the time, and yeah, it's got a little bit of animation. It's almost a little bit of a mini cartoon built into the screensaver, so for those that are looking to be able to see this type of imagery, now you've got it. That's fine. Options are good, and I think the Apple TV screensaver setup, if you're going to have your television on and your playback device going into a screensaver mode, I think probably Apple TV gives you some of the best capability, the best visualizations, and the best flexibility to be able to see different things or things that you may really like to see in your screensavers. So that tops out the list of basically confirmed and specifically announced features of tvOS 26. Again, I'll be loading this thing as quick as I can. I'd like to see those vertical movie posters, and we'll see what this whole liquid glass thing ends up looking like across all the different aspects of the Apple ecosystem, since I use them all anyway. I would expect probably that first public beta to come in a few weeks, but we'll see. We'll see when it comes. Of course, the other unannounced feature that was very quickly kind of data mined out of the APIs is all of this conversation about lossless bit streaming output support for the Apple TV. And what does this mean? Is it going to kill Kaleidoscape? Is it going to kill the Shield? And are we going to get something that we're not, is what I think a lot of people are thinking out of this. But I'm going to take that concept and I'm going to move that to another video. So look for another video here on the channel discussing what it might really mean for this speculation. Now it is confirmed, actually. Some amount, some capability, some bit streaming seems to be confirmed by certain media outlets, but what could it actually mean? And I think people are getting very excited about something that they may get let down by, particularly if the anamorphic feature that was a big deal for the Apple TV last year is any indication. So check out that other video, and I'll give all my kind of thoughts and speculation, at least for now, about that until we see what actually comes. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. Sound off in the comments. Let me know, what are you excited about tvOS 26? What are you excited about WWDC in particular? What are you excited about any of the 26 of the OS 26 versions that were announced here in early June? Post your comment and let's have a discussion there. If you need some help with your home theater, you'd like to buy some home theater gear, some kaleidoscapes, some projectors, some speakers, some audio equipment, some subwoofers, whatever it may be, please reach out to me, Jeremy at Techthusiasm.net, or go to www.techthusiasm.net. I am a dealer for over 24 home theater and audio video brands. Happy to advise, consult, and hook you up with some awesome upgrades and some awesome equipment. If you're doing some general shopping, please look down in the description below for my regular affiliates. Amazon, Audio Advice, Walmart, Crutchfield, there's a whole bunch of them down there. Please use them in your regular shopping. Leave a PayPal tip, Venmo tip, a super thanks if you would. Or, hey, become a channel member, really welcoming new members to the channel. And on your way out, please do that regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, leave that comment. Let's discuss Apple and WWDC 2026. Thanks for watching and coming back for more home theater discussion and fun.